What happens is you get a push for homogeneity on the left, but the homogeneity is everyone's going to be in the same group. So that's the left homogeneity. And on the right, you get homogeneity by exclusion. But the problem is the demand for homogeneity to begin with. And then, of course, it's a tremendous mistake to make your group identity the paramount element of your personal being.
And I also think, though, it's also difficult, must be, to explain that there is, as a human being, inevitable cognitive dissonance. I mean, you are always weighing opposing values in your mind. I mean, take diversity and equality. Okay, so you want equality, you want everybody to be the same, but you also value diversity, which means you like everybody to be different.
Yes, well, good luck with those two.
Right.
Those two without having them rub against each other in the wrong way.
Sure, and we all believe that, all men are created equal. Yuval Harari in *Sapiens* does a great job of kind of explaining how this sort of very Christian idea of all men are created equal under one creator, sort of the idea that we're all of the same moral worth, we have one father. That idea is something that all of us, certainly our justice system is predicated on that notion. And so it is if you want to call it a collective myth that we've all agreed on, it does have its roots in Christianity, and it is something that we all sort of agree that it's a good starting point. But then, of course, as human beings, we don't want to be equal. We all are striving to be better than the next guy. We're trying to have more than our neighbors. We're trying to have, whatever it might be. So I think it's an interesting...
Well, we're even trying to be better than ourselves. See, the thing is, look, here's the fundamental opposition, as far as I can tell. So let's go with the proposition that all men are created equal before God. So the idea there is that people partake in the logos. It's something like that, in the image of God. And it's necessary to do that, to give that respect, because that's the communicative force that structures the world. And we all partake in that by thinking and by being conscious and by communicating. We're all world engendering creatures. And so we have an intrinsic divine value because of that. That's a brilliant idea. It puts the individual paramount. But then what has to be added to that is, well, despite the fact of that bedrock value, there are qualitative differences that emerge as a consequence of our actions. You also see this in the biblical writings. It's not like everyone gets rewarded alike. Absolutely, the biblical narrative runs absolutely contrary to that. And despite the fact that it's predicated on this initial assumption of intrinsic divine value before God and the law, let's say. Well, the reason for that is that if there's no difference in value between one thing and another, then there's no reason to do anything. So if you push equality to its limit and you forbid qualitative distinctions between concepts or people, then you undermine people's striving and deprive them of a reason for living. And the problem with that is that if you don't have a reason for living, then all you do is suffer.